Hi, my name is Wendy Holloway. I'm going to talk to you about students who are gifted and talented, and my strategy for those is called curriculum compacting. This is for SPE 500. Curriculum compacting is a technique for differentiating instruction. It allows teachers to make adjustments to curriculum for students who have already mastered the material that's supposed to be learned, and it replaces content that students need to know with new content, enrichment, options, or other activities. Researchers recommend that teachers first determine the expected goals of the unit or lesson in terms of the content, skills, or standards that students must learn before assessing students to determine which ones have already mastered most or all of the specified learning outcomes. Curriculum compacting allows those students to avoid having to relearn material they already know, which research has shown can lead to frustration, boredom, and underachievement. The process of compacting includes three phases: defining goals and outcomes, identifying candidates, and providing acceleration and enrichment options. First of all, goals and outcomes of the given unit of instruction should be defined. You would determine which of the tasks are new material and which is old material from past units. Teachers need to be able to make individual programming decisions. Second, candidates for compacting need to be identified. You have the students, you need to identify the students that and estimate their ability to master material faster than the majority of the class. It's useful to look at their scores on previous units and tests, observe their participation and motivation, as well as their desire to do more or different work than the regular class. And in this phase, it's also necessary to evaluate specific learning outcomes. You could use pretest, especially pretest can be useful during this time as they allow easy documentation of previously mastered material, and they show specifically any areas that they may need practice in. The third part of the compacting process is to provide acceleration and enrichment options. This should be done cooperatively with the student to best increase academic challenge and meet his or her needs. You want to try to choose activities that fit the student's interests and strengths rather than more of the same seat work and random games. Some students who see this process in action will realize that they earn time to do self-selected projects, and it increases their motivation in mastering regular work more rapidly. Enrichment ideas may include in-depth studies, competitions, problem-solving programs, interdisciplinary seminars, or project-based learning. The teacher, what they would need to implement this strategy, they need to keep documentation of the curriculum compacting process. The teacher can use forms called curriculum compactors. They're forms that have been developed to help with the documentation of this method of providing enrichment. They should be kept in the student's academic file and updated as needed. They have three columns. The first one is titled Areas Considered for Compacting. This is information on the learning objectives and their proficiency in these objectives. The second column is procedures for compacting basic material. And it describes specifically which activities are used to document proficiency, such as pretest, what the student scored on each part of it, and you attach the pretest to the compactor, and it's a good way to document this. The third column is acceleration or the enrichment activities, and it's used to describe the replaced activities that the student will be engaged in during the time that is saved by the compacting process. These activities should focus on student interest, abilities, and preferences. Students would need to take a pre-assessment test to see if they are candidates for curriculum compacting, and it's important to know if a student has already mastered the content of a subject they are being tested on. It's also important to know if the student wants to move forward. Thank you.